Welcome back, everybody. After a short intermission break, we are all set up, synced, and ready to go. Just like Graves running around with those books on this map. My name is Reinhard. I am joined by Mendrix, and we have ourselves Game 1 coming at you live between Catholic RCS and Notre Dame CS. As we can see straight off the bat, Catholic already converging once for the first time, going all 5 members towards top lane as Ornn is a little bit unexpected and they have no idea what's
He's
going
walking.
on. He comes in, gets on top, gets anchored. They're going to try and catch him as long as possible. And there's the first blood, gone right over the Liz. Gone straight through with that Sonic kick and landing on top for a nice kill.
Nice, quick, cheeky play coming right on out of them. And what's really good about what they've put together there is they thought, hey, we'll just make sure that we do it as a team. Let's make sure we're all on the same page. And that's what allowed them to really get into it. Mailman should have just been there a little bit sooner, but because he was deciding to sit back, not in that line of scrimmage, not maintaining those entrances and exits, he just ends up walking into a blender and ends up being a smoothie for Lee Sin.
And I feel like that was a bit of a standard bronze style, like pre-lane phase setup where just like you get top lane going straight towards his own lane, bottom lane does their own thing, and then jungle and mid, they sit in the bush, but I didn't see any wards appearing. They were just sitting there completely blind and allowing them to have as much, shadow as fog as possible to be able to catch them off guard, and that's literally what we see as Lee Sin completely just goes straight through with the Sonic Boom and gets that first blood. Now looking forward, both sides already getting into lane. We're going to see skirmishes left, right, and center. Or should I say top, middle, and bottom in League of Legends terms. And these junglers starting off over at the respective blue sides, going straight to their Gromps. I'm curious what we're going to see is now we can see the first trade coming in as Zombie gets caught out. There's the heal coming out to make sure he stays alive a little bit longer. And that's going to make things a little bit more disastrous for Notre Dame down in bottom lane with the likes of this Karthus. And we did see champion selection. This Karthus is going to be a problem.
Exactly. Like that Karthus is not really going to provide the protection that is needed for Ryby Shrek to get what he needs to. And he's already being a liability in the sense that he's gone back. He's forced a heal out of Ryby Shrek as well. So he's really got his work cut out for him in order to survive this bot lane. And it is really rough. Caitlyn and Nautilus are strong even against lanes that are a bit rough on their own side. Now that they've got basically free reign to do what they want, because this Karthus is just not going to be hitting the mark, I imagine that it's going to get very rough very quickly for Rabbi Shrek and for the rest of Notre Dame in this scenario.
The only thing I feel that would be really beneficial with having this Karthus on their team is his ulti. Because if there's going to be skirmishes everywhere else on the map but bottom lane, you know he's going to plant that ulti. You know you're going to see them try and make the best of a bad situation. As Joseph is already pushed underneath his top turret, he's going to try and use that meteorite shard to poke where possible. Tada up against Orianna will face a little bit of hardship because that bull does immediately take down his minions instantaneously. Could be a little bit disastrous, so I feel like it's going to come down to Lyri and his Lee Sin gameplays to be able to try and make the big difference as Graves now towards top side. Going to take down the River Scudder in the top half, whereas Lee Sin's down in the bottom half. And the rest of the team is still playing passive, trying to play the farm game. But there we go, there's another hook on the Zombie. Going to try and get on top of him, but he's too close to the turrets. They get a nice little trap, everything else as well.
Oh.
And there it is, flash trap, basic attack. That's all she wrote, and that's going to be kill over to Subaru.
Oh, it was beautiful, and you can see Lyrizu's trying to get in there as well, but you can tell like every little bit done by Subaru there was perfectly done in the micro aspect of the play. He got the auto attacks in, he was doing his animation cancellation, he even flashed preemptively to ensure he landed his net and follow up with another headshot. Everything that Subaru did there was just perfect from front to finish, or back to front, or however you want to put it. And again, it's because this Karthus just isn't the strongest pick. Every single time he comes to lane, he's getting chipped out immediately once that anchor lands. Another thing to take into account, yeah, it's nice to have that Karthus ultimate, but if you're being pushed or killed out of lane consistently, it's just going to take you longer and longer to get to that ultimate phase and be able to use it relatively effectively. And the longer that you're a lower level as well, also means the cooldown reduction on it is higher. That means you're not really getting the best benefit out of this Karthus going forward.
It's going to be even worse. And what I just realized as well, he's picked up the Doran's ring. He hasn't gone with a support item. He's going to be lacking gold potential. And there's the hook right on top of Orianna. Silent going to try and get away, gets the flash. There's no mana available. Graves nearby to try and help give him a little bit of reinforcements. The rest of Catholic did run away, but they still had this advantage coming into lane. Now Silence going to be sitting there passively farming for a little bit, while Nautilus makes his way back to base, resets himself, runs out to lane. Lee Sin is deciding to continue this camp. He's going to try and keep farming for a little bit longer and try and provide something for his team, but Stubbery now in a 2v1 takes a Q straight to the face from Karthus. He's going to try and keep on a little bit longer. Will have the XP advantage, but the gold, however, will be a little bit lacking as he is pressured underneath turret. Now in top lane, just hits left, right, and center. Joseph trying to get those meteor shards and cosmic comets right on top. This is going to be a real like poking game towards this top lane more than anything.
Wet noodle fight.
Yeah, wet noodle fight.
It's gonna be a wet noodle fight. It's they're gonna be sitting there just whacking each other, taking their HP back each time. I'm feeling pretty bad for Zombie right now. I think he's gonna be caught.
Yeah, there's the anchor, followed by the basic attack and the Q, the kite to get it straight on top. And now in top lane, Joseph, he's at critical point. He doesn't have his ulti available, but does get out with the skin on his teeth. Now Lee Sin come nearby, gets on top. Goes right for Mailman, and there's the teleport also coming in from Malzahar. This is coming straight into the fight. He's at half health, but he does. Here's the ulti going on top. Gonna try and get critical point, but he's at low health himself. Goes in, goes for the trade, goes for the risk. There's a kill for a kill. Now it's going to be Polar Bear going up against Malzahar. Joseph nearby, going to try and turn things around, slows down the attack speed. He's going to keep the push on. Lily needs one with basic attack, and that's going to be a double kill. 3 kills to 1 going over to Catholic in favor for this bottom, top and mid lane matchup.
Yeah, you really see everything actually being just capitalized on the mistakes of Notre Dame versus the fact that Catholic are also using their pressure around the map effectively. Everything sort of also stems from the fact of how well this bot lane is performing. Because they've got so much pressure, Iron Smurf was able to roam up and force a bit of action. Never mind, because more stuff happening. Is it going to force anything? No. Okay, back to my explanation. All the pressure will allow best Iron Smurf to move up. That allowed extra pressure to form in the mid lane, which freed up Tadakutsi to do the teleport up top when Polar Bear was trying to find something for his team, find something for Notre Dame. So all these little things are starting to add up, and that gold lead's building and building. 2k at the moment, and they're even getting the dragon.
Yeah, this advantage is just really working well for Catholic. They've got 2 bounties sitting on their scoreboard. They've also got a lot of aggression and better team synergy. Looking at this as the flash comes in by the anchor, gets a basic attack on top. Tadaki is going to try and get on top of that passive, but there we go. Lyrazen claiming an easy kill in mid lane. A 3-man mention as well as a nice little passive lead coming out for Tata in mid lane.
Yeah, and really at that point, Silence should have taken into account, hey, the dragon just went down. They still got pressure down on the bottom side of the map. There's probably going to be another roam. We know already that the best Iron Smurf likes to make his move around the map, and he's already made his presence known once before. He's going to do it again, and he just did it, gets another kill. So the respect just not being there from Notre Dame.
No, and they're really suffering a lot of casualties, and the stress is building as there's Leary coming in, tries to flash for the Dragon's Rage, but he flashes as well, so Shrek gets away. There's the ulti. Ace in the hole claiming Zombie in the backline. He's now making things a little bit worse for
He's coming back.
He does, but he is caught out by the ward. He's going to try and stay underneath turret. There's the slime ball as well. He's going to come in there. Sada nearby has the ulti available as well to try.
Oh no.
And the Malefic Visions get straight in. It's a 3 versus 1. There's the slow. A nice little exit coming out from Subaru. Now in top lane as well. They're having their own skirmish, but he gets away with the skin on his teeth.
That's a good flash by Mailman.
This game is like an action film, and Jackie Chan is the star of everything here.
Look, everything that's happening at the moment is literally just all the pressure, all the proactivity coming out of Catholic University or Catholic regional at this moment in time. And never mind, look, besides still making stuff happen.
Yep, there he goes, coming in with the ulti, with Nautilus nearby, really trying to cap on top. Passive is not available, but there's the silence, the kill seeker actually. As Tada now hitting the title of getting a killing spree. His bounty's now 300 gold. The ADC as well, Subaru Natsuki, sitting on 500 gold bounty himself, is really turning this game in favor for Catholic, as now they continue the trade on top again. There's Best Iron going right on top, gets in with the basic attack and whatnot. They're going to try and get on Mailman, but he's going to get right towards turret. There's the meteor shard, but he still gets away with the skin on his teeth. And he's going to be sitting behind a little bit. They're looking to try and go for the all-in trade. Best Iron is still level 5. Not going to be able to. He gets caught out by the turret prematurely. Now he's going to try and go completely around the corner. Comes straight through. Gives us a little bit of a show pro, and he gets knocked straight into the wall. And there's Mailman. Gets a nice little knock up himself. Joseph nearby gets a meteor shot followed by the Cosmic Comet. And all the while down bottom lane, Suduru on his own, but there's Leary nearby, ready to come in with some nice
I love this
action. Yep, he's going to be coming in, narrowly misses.
Oh.
There's the first little hit, followed by the Gale Force. Now Leary's going to get caught up by Polar Bear, getting caught up by his own little counterpart, and that's going to be a nice little standoff. But still works in favor for Subaru with that nice kill using Gale Force.
Yeah, he's just too far ahead at this moment in time. You can tell with the fact that he's got that extra item over Rabbi Shrek, and as you can see, he's already building into his next one. The damage is absolutely unmanageable. Another thing to take into account there is the way that the team moves around the map. Iron Smurf basically just went for a 3-minute roam, hit 3 different locations in the process of doing that. Look, he's still going, trying to find something. He's fishing left, right, and center, and this man seems to be getting what he wants or getting his catches. Because of his little roam up, Lyrizen's like, you know what, I need to actually cover Subaru. He comes down. That means that if there was a bit of aggression, if they did try to overstep and take advantage of the fact that there is a roaming Nautilus running around, they actually can't do so because it's being covered by the jungler. Really well done there. Just look at this damage.
Yeah, the only thing that really makes it a bad situation is that it is a disconnection fight too. Now Tata gets caught out by the shockwaves. Flash and Flash coming out from Polos. He's really trying to hunt this kill down. But there's Best Iron nearby. Also coming out, but Tata gets taken down by the corrosive explosion coming out from Polar Bear. And that's going to be a kill and an assist going over to Notre as Nautilus sort of has to now run back to lane. Now top lane, Joseph's getting caught up by Man. They're going for a 1v1 noodle fight, but now it's going to turn into a 2v1 with Lyra nearby. A tag team match coming out, WWE top lane style. As they come in, there's the Call of the Forge God, but Lyra claims the kill. And now we can see top lane action again coming out, teleport with Silent Wrath. They're going to try and claim kills where possible, but they are falling a little bit short, and Catholic are able to get away with this one.
They're just going crazy. Catholic didn't really get away with it, to be perfectly honest. I mean, they were there with the player there. They had the retreat from the tower beforehand. Everything made perfect sense. You could see Notre Dame will come in and like, well, maybe we can assist, maybe we can find something. But when you've got a tower there to retreat to, they're really just, you know, it's fool's hope at that moment in time. They're basically reacting to the player being made top. And all of it really comes down to that fact that Polar Bear is running around the map. He's farming up a storm. He's got 25 extra minions to Lyrizen, but with Lyrizen picking up all this extra experience in lane by getting the kills as well, he's well and truly kept up. Doesn't really matter, and the rest of the team is benefiting from it. And it all comes down to that fact that Polar Bear is, you know, running around the map, farming up a storm, yes, but he's efficient pathing, just not really hitting the mark. He needs to be able to do that pathing while at the same time finding ganks, or at least monitoring Lyrizen. If he's able to monitor Lyrizen, stop him from going for those ganks, then he can start to edge out an advantage with the farming. But unfortunately, Lyrizen's got free reign, he's been moving around doing what he wants, and so has Best Iron Smurf. And when you take into account that it seems that the players for the Catholic Regional also seem to be just better mechanically in lane, it's a recipe for disaster for Notre Dame.
Yeah, and looking at the score, 11-2, we're already seeing a 6,000 gold difference. Now Tata gets caught out again with the Fog of War, but there's also coming in. Best Iron narrowly misses that anchor, and now they're going to try and get away as there's the Immortal Shield Bro's shield popping, absorbing everything, giving him the ability to stay alive a little bit longer. Silent nearby to help give him reinforcements and cover needed to be able to get away. I love the synergy play coming out. I love the assistance and how much they are caring for each other in this game. And they are a little bit behind, so they do need to provide a lot of care. And there's the ulti coming out from the depths, getting straight on top. Subaru trying to get in. Doesn't get a trap, but there's everything in tow. Now the fight's turning around. There's Shrek and Zombie nearby. Polar Bear versus Subaru. They're going to try and do what they can to get on top. There's the heal and the flash coming out. A nice little kill coming over to Subaru. There's the anchor going on top as Zombie gets caught out. But there's a lot of reinforcements to provide a little cover fire. As now they're going to try and extend this trade out for as long as possible. But at the moment, they're going to be forfeiting over that red buff, as well as a little bit of control inside their own red jungle to the likes of Catholic RS.
And this is what happens when you do have the inside track in the mid lane. It allows you to open up places into your enemy's jungle, start taking away those resources, continue to exacerbate that lead that you've put into place. And you can tell they're still looking for something here. Lyrizen's going in.
Yep, he gets right on top, gets the Dragon's Rage, but won't be able to find a kill as he gets taken down with the help of those turrets. And now Best Iron tries to get away. He's at critical point, and there's the ulti snapping all the way from the edge of his range. He gets a nice little double kill for his team. And that's going to send him online a little bit, as he is lacking quite a bit with these items. He's only at 76 CS to 130. It's 6 kills to 2, and just, he is really, really starving.
Yeah, Notre Dame needed that. They needed that in every sense of the word. And all of that really comes down to the fact that that was actually Catholic Regional overextending. They went too far. They already got the red buff. They already got the kill prior. They've managed to pick up the tower as well. You don't need to be this flashy. Go back, reconsolidate that lead, come back into it, and then just continue to widen the gap afterwards. When you start to make these flashy plays in points in the game that you just don't need to make, this is when you give the opportunity for the team to come back. And they have a team that scales so well into the late game. Oriana, Cogmore, Karthus, all of them are insane, but never mind, they're trying to stop it now.
Oh, he is a little bit too far away from his team, but they managed to catch up on time as Tada gets in with the first little hit. Gets the ult here. Shrek gets managed to take down Nort. Yep, going straight in. He comes in with the backline. There's the ulti coming out with the double kill. And all the while, Mailman, not finding as much success as the counterpart, gets taken down as well. Subaru now going to a nice killing spree, and they're going to be beginning to charge. They're on the witch hunt, going for Polar Bear as Manfight's nearby. He needs the meteorite shard to be able to slow him down. He dashes through, resets vision, gets caught out by the sonic kick, and there he goes, the follow-up. He flashes as the immortal shield bro gone. That's damaging as much as possible. He's going to try and kite in. There's the first kill, and Joseph is critically pulled too far away, and there's the ace in the hole, claiming kill from long distance, making the overall trade in favor for Catholic, claiming at least 3 kills after so long.
Yeah, Polar Bear did the best that he could do with the situation that he had. It was really just a bunch of resources being thrown at him, and I really like the way that Catholic Regional engaged that as well. Joseph goes in first, starts taking the turret. That allows Lurizen to get in and start doing the damage, but as I mentioned before, Polar Bear has been farming up a storm. He's not exactly the weakest member in the team for Notre Dame, and you can tell he was able to play that around. My only real criticism in that scenario is Joseph could have been doing some damage as well, continuing to slow down, make it a little bit easier for Lurizen to get something back. And because he wasn't doing that, that does mean that Lurizen does fall down just because of how powerful Polar Bear is. But in the end, again, more resources being available for Catholic Regional. The ace in the hole coming through from Subaru is a nice way to finish things off and continuing to push that lead. And again, Dragons coming down. They're continuing to get all of that standing gold in the towers as well. Really, at this point, they need a miracle from Notre Dame if they want to find a way to bring it back, and it needs to be through some insane overextension from Catholic Regional for them to then capitalize off it.
Oh, there's the charge going until the zombie first man to get caught out. There's the Divine Thunder as well. Sorry, the Stormbreaker coming straight through. First kill going over to Subaru, looking to try and get some extras as he claims the double, gets straight on top, gets through, but the kill is stolen by Tada as he's now marching through with the rest of his team to take down their mid turret and inhibitor, with the amount of lead that they are stacking for themselves. And now we can see Best Iron as well, going to try and stay on the sidelines, look for that flank to get on top of Polar Bear. He's sitting nearby to see if he can do something, but right now he's just watching as a spectator, as he can't do anything. And this lead is so heavily in favor for Catholic, it is almost not funny. As just across the board, I am seeing every member with completed mythic items, actually. Whereas on the other side of the spectrum, Notre Dame have a majority of members finishing their first item, but they are lacking towards components of their second.
Yeah, really that lead is now just a bit more insurmountable, if you could really take that into account. Now that they've managed to finally break the base, I don't even think they need the Baron that's coming up in the next minute. They can choose to just leave that alone completely. Polar Bear fancies a fight against him, and because he's not reacting, he might actually be able to get him.
Yeah, he's gone straight on top. Might actually meet his first kill. He is still sitting on a perfect KDA as he goes straight on top of Polar Bear. The vision is reset. Gets straight through. No! And that's going to be a 1,000 gold bonus over to Polar Bear, bringing himself back into this game, giving his team a little bit of comfort.
Yeah, Subaru and Natsuki just, not really paying attention. They've just autopiloted that particular point in time. Thought was going to be able to get back to base safely, spend all that gold. Really, this is what, a lesson to everyone. If you're going to back, don't do it in the middle of the lane. Don't do it in the middle of vision. Find yourself a brush, put yourself in a good spot, and then that's when you can go to back. Otherwise, you might be donating that 1,000 gold away, just like Subaru Natsuki did. I mean, when I'm looking at everything here, though, yeah, it's a nice gold inflection or a nice gold, a nice gold sort of injection into a member that could possibly have the ability to carry, but I think it's still too much. I mean, level 12, you're the only one against a number of level 12s on the other side, and when you're battling down a Nautilus that can easily just change you to be the person that can go into, it's crazy for it. That was a nice cheeky little steal there as well. I mean, look, Best Iron Smurf's looking for the fight, and all he needs to do now is put all of his attention and all of his arsenal into Polar Bear, and then everyone else should be able to fall down easily. And Tatsuki, he found Zombie.
Oh, going straight into the zombie here is at a critical point. Malefic Visions is really making things bad. And there we go. That's another kill going over to Tata, making himself even more disastrous, as he only does have that Leandra's Anguish, but he's also working towards that Rise Crystal Scepter. And once it's completed, there is nothing they can do to try and stay away from the likes of Catholic. Rabbi Shrek's going to try and dish out some extra damage where possible, just scoping out where he can. And all the while, Catholic, while inside the fog of war, are taking down Baron.
As I mentioned, they don't really need it, but because they have so much control around the map, they've managed to push out their opponents. It is a relatively safe Baron to go for it. Polar has the ability to steal, and he does! Wow!
A steal from down below. He gets straight in and gives his team the pressure needed to be able to keep things alive a little bit longer, because they've got super minions pressuring down mid lane. You've got top and mid as well, actually pushing straight through past those mid points. They have the ability to they have some comfort to be able to get some free farming, bring themselves back into this now.
Yeah, and this is why I mentioned that idea. You don't really need the Baron when you're this far ahead. You could just basically, grab a bat. But you basically have a massive bat at this moment in time. And when you've got the bigger bat, you just start swinging away. This Baron has given them the opportunity to get back into it. Like you said, it slows things down. It means that, of course, these heavy scalers can continue to find gold throughout. And this is their way to actually force it out. What they need to do is just give up this dragon, just let them have it. It's not the biggest dragon in the world. The last thing you need to do is lose all your barons to the fact that you're trying to go after an objective that you just don't really need at this moment. Zombie, I think he might be stuck in a place he doesn't want to be. Look at that damage he's taking. I think he might go down to the minions as well. Nope, he's okay. He's going to get out. He's still burning a little bit.
He was suffering some passive damage.
Yeah, they're starting the fight.
Burn. And now they're going to go straight on top. Lee Sin's going to lead the charge. Tries to knock into the wall, but he manages to get away. So a little bit of a lag charge right there. But nonetheless, they managed to win control over this dragon buff. So for those who are a little bit unaware as to why Catholic were very aggressive just then, it was so that they can win control over this dragon buff and make it uncontested. They're sitting on 2 buffs at the moment. They only need 1 more after this dragon to hit Soul. And since it's an Infernal Dragon, this is going to be much more disastrous for Notre. They are lacking behind a little bit of damage. They are suffering quite a bit of casualties. And just things will get 10 times worse. And now leading straight through. The rest of Notre Dame forcing to retreat. But Lee Sin's going to try and come in as Larry gets through. Misses the Sonic kick, but the heal as well keeps things out of harm's way, as Polar Bear just sitting inside his own jungle will get caught out, as now you can see Joseph's nearby. He's going to get through the Meteorite Shard first, but the rest of the team is not following up, so we can see why he didn't go for the ulti just then. And now Lee Sin's going to try and catch on top of Mailman, but there's Joseph now. He's going to make it for a second attempt. Lee Sin's nearby. All he needs to do is get in with the Meteorite Shard, followed by that Unstoppable. And that could really turn the tides. And the rest of the team, Catholic, are all in the top half of the jungle. Best Iron's going to catch Shrek off guard. He's going to try and take him down. Super nearby is going to get straight through. And there's the first kill. Gets the flash into the back line. Saves himself some grace. And Lyrizan now taking down the second kill himself. That's 2 kills taken off the board. It is now 3 versus 5. Joseph and Larry sitting underneath top turret. They are sort of boxed in, but they have the small little slimmer of hope to get away. And all the while, the rest of Catholic are now converging towards Midland. They're going to take down this inhibitor. They're going to try and continue this push in as long as possible as the flash comes through. There's the ulti. Gets through a nice little macro trick. Gets on Polar Bear. Does hit the stopwatch. But there's the ultimate as well coming out from Unstoppable. Gets straight on top. There's Call the Forge God. Gets a double knockup. They're going to try and turn things around as the heal comes out. There's the big ulti coming out as the final song comes. As Carthage is on cooldown, but they manage to claim a kill at least, and they're turning the sides all together. This game could actually be over as only Silent is alive. He's going to try and come through the backline, gets on top of Joseph, won't find success, doesn't have the ulti available, is now facing a 2 versus 1 scenario as Lyrizen comes in, managed to slow down, but the flash coming out as well as a bit of movement speed, and there's Best Iron catching on top of the anchor, followed by a basic attack, trying to get any time, get some extras, but no, that's going to be Ace going over to Catholic RSC as they manage to take down a Nexus turret, and then they're going to try and look for the end.
And this is what I was talking about. They were just so far ahead, they just needed to walk up and start fighting their opponents. And you can see it wasn't even, the cleanest fight, but they just went through time and time again. And because it was so long, they've respawned, and here we go again.
Yep, they're going straight through. They managed to reset. Respawn's coming out. Remem's alive. They're really going to try and go with Best Iron, but he manages to actually flash over the wall and gets away from Harm's grasp. And now the rest of the team's going to reset themselves for a little bit. We could see a Dragon Soul coming out this game as everybody from Catholic are really trying to keep themselves alive in this, not hand over Andy charity kills as much as possible.
Yeah, I think that did stay a little bit too long. You could tell that they, after the fact, realized, oh god, we need to get out, and that's why they banned a few of their, or ended up blowing a few of their flashes in return. The fact that they didn't really give up the kills and still got the best out of that scenario is still what you'd want to see. Again, it wasn't the cleanest play, it wasn't the cleanest engaged. Completely fine. As long as they continue to keep the pressure up, continue to slowly whittle away at this infrastructure, the next Dragon, like you mentioned, will basically be the final bit, the nail in the coffin that they need to close this out. I really would like for them to just establish main control over that top side of the map, so that will be the best thing that Classic Region need to do. That'll open up a nice easy take for them on the Baron. Polar Bear, don't think he's going to get caught here, but now he may.
Yeah, from the devs comes, and there's Subaru coming in, gets the Gale Force. He's going to try and take down as much of that as possible, and that's an easy kill going over, making him 14-2-4. With a massive gold lead, now sitting as well on a 300 gold bounty. He's 3 items completed. Looking to go towards that 4th. There's 60% crit chance with an Infinity Edge in that backpack, so that's an extra 35% crit damage bonus coming through. As they're really applying pressure towards mid lane with these super minions available. I believe we at least have another minute or so of super minions coming out through mid lane on the side of Catholic, and they're really pushing the charge. Less than a minute coming straight through. Oh. Yep. Malphite, sorry. Zombie does get taken down. Tata going to try and keep this pressure on. Gets the basic attacks through. Oh! Gets straight through. Gets taken down, actually. As shutdown goes over, but that's now 2 kills going over to Catholic again. They're really
just end the game. Just go through mid, guys.
It's essentially over. We have at least 3 members sitting on 15-second respawn time as minimum. Polar Bear coming straight through. Mailman a little bit too far behind.
What are they doing?
Is in the back line. The whole of Catholic is now turning the sights towards Dragon Soul.
They just want to make sure that it's a, complete victory. We need to have all the dragons, all the barons, all the towers, everything known to man. They could have ended the game if they wanted to right there and there. They had all the pressure that they needed on the bot side of the map to actually break that as well. Tadakutsis was doing a fantastic job basically handling 4 people. Was even managing to pick up a few kills. And you can see, even with Joseph not really, pulling the trigger for him and jumping in there and forcing the fight, we're still able to make a lot out of nothing. And with the scenario that's coming into it, now that they've picked up this Dragon Soul, it is basically lights out here. They can well and truly win most of their team fights comfortably. I would just like for them, if they are going to pick up this Baron and get it, make it a complete victory. What they need to do is make sure they ward that top side of the jungle up. Make sure that red has all the vision into it, so that way Polar Bear can't come in, use his ultimate, and steal that Baron away again.
If they do manage to steal away this Baron, they're only really delaying what seems to be the inevitable. I gotta say, I'm really impressed with how well Catholic are playing this game, but I also gotta give a special credit to Notre for really trying to hold out as much as possible and claim 3 kills where possible. And there we go. There's the shockwave coming through on top of Polar Bear, but he gets taken down and in the sidelines. There's Tata taking a kill of his own. They're going to push straight through as they do have 3 members alive, but Kog'Maw is sitting in base. Zombie is going to get taken down for a double kill going over the target. Now they're going to try and finish this off. There's the Dragon's Rage going on top as Joseph claims the final kill of the game needed to be able to push this straight through. But look at that. The inhibitor respawns. 2 members sitting on top of Nexus, while the rest of them just pretty much trying to actually help catch up.
It happens from time to time, but I think it's just going to, like you said, continue to delay the inevitable. Look at that damage! They killed him in the fountain! That is filthy.
It is absolute overkill, and a nice little flashy, clip of the day, I guess, as they're just essentially giving us a bit of a game of show at this point, just letting the minions take down as much as possible, and Tata being the man to take down the Nexus, and that is going to be game 1 done and dusted tonight, going over to Catholic RC as our first team.
Yeah, pretty crazy in the sense of things that you can see the way the game was going pretty early on. The fact that the first kill came across, of course, it was Mailman that fell down, just really shows how clean cut Catholic Regional is. Yeah, there are a few things that could definitely be cleaned up a little bit more, but they definitely knew their early game strategies. They played as a team. They were moving around the map well. Everything just flowed in their gameplay. If there was a roam from Best Iron Smurf, Lyrizen was there to pick it up. If it ends up being one of those cases that Best Iron Smurf was roaming and there was no Lyrizen to pick it up because they were being aggressively on the side of the map, Subaru and Natsuki knew to play that little bit more carefully. And when you add into the fact that they had this very clean move around the map play style, with the fact that they did have what seemed to be superior mechanics when it came to the micro play as well. Like I said, just an absolute recipe for disaster for Notre Dame. They had their work cut out for them if they were going to get the win in that scenario. And when I look at everything that played out, it just seemed to make sense. That really Catholic Regional were playing it better. And if I had to give my MVP for the stream in this scenario, I would have to be Subaru Natsuki. He is absolutely insane. The way that he piloted that Caitlyn was pretty much perfect in most cases. Yeah, the backing was a bit bad, but when you look at the amount of damage that he was able to put out, if you really look at everything that came into it, he well and truly earned his pittance for the rest of his team.
Oh, there we have it, everybody. Game 1 done and dusted in favor for Catholic going up against Notre Dame. We're going to go to, and as well as a special congratulations over to Subaru Natsuki. Every time I read that name, I just keep thinking of the
15 kills, 6 assists.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And he only suffered 2 deaths throughout that entire game. So that is an easy 10 KDA at minimum, as we're going to be going to an intermission break while we prepare ourselves for the second game coming at you live tonight. As my name is Reinhard, I've been joined by Mendrix. Our Twitter handles are down below our names, and we're going to be right back after these small messages. Welcome back, everybody, to Game 2, brought to you over Meta HSC, proudly sponsored by Optus and Torrens University. My name is Reinhard. I am joined by Mendrix, and we have here for Game 2 tonight, Oakley Grammar School versus Newstead College, over on the blue side. As we get straight off the bat, we see Vayne taken away immediately, followed by Bard on the other side of the spectrum, as things are already beginning to light up.
And immediately of that, I reckon these are very target bans focused as well. Bard is probably a bit more meta than Vayne when you think about the spaces that it comes into it. But that being said, I reckon most of this league is literally going to be them looking at their opponents, figuring out what they're comfortable with, what their most played is, and just banning that away. And you can see it being played out pretty much in every single champ select that we had to. Again, Katarina, another pub stomper, just being taken away.
I just don't understand. 100% ban rate coming out from Katarina and 100% appearance rate from Oriana, as we still have one more champion on both sides to be locked away from